welcome to the third round of our team championship. You see here our opponent was very strong. On the first 6 boards the players have about 200 or even more points above our players. So let's go right to the first board. We missed some players, so I had to deal with this very strong opponent. I got quite a nice position out of the opening. It was a touch defense, and here we reached this position. It was the 40th move now, and here you see that black already has some kind of space advantage on the king's wing. However, it might be that the position is still okay. I might should exchange here and try something like to double on the g files or something like that. It might be that I still be able to defend this position. However, here I was already somehow frustrated, and I played a somehow weaker move. I just didn't want to change the position. So he puts his rooks on the black squares because of my light square bishop. It might be that I play e4, and he played again this knight f1 move. And here I think black made a very nice positional move, which I overlooked. He just played here knight to d7, and now you see I have to exchange my strongest piece. So, and then we reached this position, and here I blundered. I played f4, and this loses a pawn. You can pause the video and look if you like. Okay, it's not so easy. It's not too easy. It's not difficult to see. He plays just f4. My rook is hanging. I have to exchange, and now he doesn't take back the rook. He gives this in between check. So, and you see that I'm already a pawn down, and the position offers no counter chances at all. So let's go to the second board. So here I played Bubble. Also he had a very strong opponent. I think this was the decisive moment. White played h5 here, and you see there is enormous pressure on g6. However, black also has some positional compensation as the c3 pawn is very weak. I show you now what Pavel played. Pavel blocked with f5. Now Komarek exchange on g6, played b4, and now after that he reroutes the knight to d4. And these weaknesses, especially there was no possibility to fend e6. He got mated after some moves even. I think that f5 was not necessary because of this variation. The logical continuation would be now rook to c8. You see there's some pressure, and if I starts to sacrifice here, this threatens the check, so you cannot take. So you take. So, and now If you take, the queen will give a check, and there will be some very dangerous rook lifts here or here. So the thing is that black must or may not take, because he has the nice in-between move queen to c3, and it seems to me that this position is okay for black. Good. So I think this was the decisive moment in this game. So let's go to board 3. Here played better against Lorenz Aldrich, a very experienced player. He was for a long time the best player on that team, but now they have younger players. However, here black played f5, and here it might have been that white is able to take on f5. However, you see the king is still in the middle, and black might have some ideas to get the e-file open. It's very difficult to calculate, so I can show you a computer variation. It would go like this, and here black might try to exchange to sacrifice one pawn. This check, and now we block the e-file, but black is still pressing on the e-file. Now we take on c3. This would be somehow playable for white, of course. It seems that he is a clear pawn up, but very difficult to calculate, of course. So here better didn't take on f5, he just keep things under control and played this move. Black decided also not to risk something, and this was the final position. You see here are no pawn breaks left, and also here it is not possible for black to have any pawn breaks. The only pawn break who is left is b4, but black might play e5 even. So this was a draw, and Petr played a very solid game. So let's go to the next. Here Kamil had black, and I think here somehow was the decisive moment. Of course, this is just my opinion. He played here d5, and the white player played very aggressive, and the game opened up, and this was somehow favored white, I think. So let's look. I think here it would have been better to castle. Black might be afraid of some positional squeeze here, maybe with e4, rook to d1, and this would lead to somehow a Morosi bind, a better version. But note that white is still 3 moves away from castling, and also here you can see some issues on the f2 square. For example, if you ever play e5, then the bishop, if he takes, you can take on f2 and give this fork. So therefore I think castling was the right move here. So let's see now. Maybe if white really tries to play e4, here comes one of these variations. You just attack f2, white has to defend, and now we might even play f5, and you see the f file will open up, and you have a nice pressure here. So e4 is not possible after castling. So let's say white plays only e3, then you might just play bishop to b7. You see you have a nice control here, and attacking g2, so it is not even very easy for white to short castle. He might castle long, but now you have a very nice control over d5 already, and it might have been better. So I show you now how the game developed. d5, e4, very aggressive, bishop to b7, and now the game opens up, as I said. And here white gave this check, and unfortunately queen to d7 is not possible here. I can show you why. He had to play king to f8, because if you play queen to f7, white might play this move. And now if you, for example, try bishop to c6, white just takes here. And you take the queen, you just exchange, you got the queen back with a clear pawn up. So here in this position, black had to play king to f8, and I think this position is already very difficult to play, because you have the problem with this rook. It might be as black has somehow a lead in development. It might be possible that it's still playable, but it is very difficult to play. Let's put it like this. So on the fifth board, Felsman Thomas. He played also a player who had above 2,200 rating points. I think here Thomas showed that he is still capable to play such players. White has a forced draw with the move c6. Thomas played rook to b1, but this is somehow defensive move. So let's look why. I think black has to take, there are also other moves, but now you have the nice idea of these checks. And now you might think, okay, if I give another check, the king just go to h6 and the game is lost. But here white has an amazing resource. You can pause the video and look if you can find the move. Yes, it's king to g5, and this saves the game. You know the rook has nowhere to go, and the white rook will just continue to check. However, here Thomas played rook to b1, h2 of course, rook h1. So it might be that he got another chance. Now black improved his king position, and white starts to play with his f-pawn. Of course, activity is the only chance to save the game. Here rook to h3, and I think here was the last possibility to fight for a draw with f5. According to the rule that passed pawns should run. Of course you have to give another pawn, but black may not catch this pawn and defend this pawn, so this might have been the last chance to fight for a draw. Unfortunately here Thomas played king to f6. So when you see now king g6 is coming, and h2 is hanging, so there might be some chances to hold this position.